Taylor Swift versus Scooter Braun, everything we know. And the celebs picking sides. Hello, Internet. Welcome to the Download. I'm Denny Directo.
And I'm Cassie DeLore, and we've got our producer, Larry DeCant, joining us from the control room. Hey, Larry. Oh, you're wearing your snake skin.
I am wearing snake skin, ironically enough, but I think it's even more ironic that I'm wearing it today.
I mean,
we'll find out later.
Right, it is the feud that has everyone shook. Taylor Swift versus Scooter Braun. Of course, he's the music manager known for his work with Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande.
Now, a lot, you guys, has gone down. We're a bit of a mess over here. It's like Charlotte's Web. There's a lot of moving parts to all of this. So in case you missed this or are in any way confused, we got you. We have the highlights, and we're going to try to do it in less than 60 seconds.
Okay, here we go.
Go.
Taylor Swift penned a note on Tumblr after news broke that Scooter Braun inked a $300 million deal with Big Machine Records. Part of that deal means he'll obtain Taylor's back catalog.
So that basically means Scooter will own the master recordings of all of Taylor's first 6 albums.
So in her post, Taylor took aim at Scooter, saying he, quote, stripped me of my life's work that I wasn't given an opportunity to buy.
She claimed Scooter is a bully and accuses him of collaborating with Kanye West and Justin Bieber to bully her. Taylor also said she learned about this deal with the rest of the world. 30 seconds, Danny, go.
Meanwhile, the head of Big Machine Records, Scott Borchetta, says nope. He says Taylor's dad is a shareholder of Big Machine and he knew about the deal when it was announced. Scott also says he texted Taylor about this.
Taylor's PR team, though, refuted those claims, saying Taylor's dad wasn't on the shareholder call and that Taylor did not see Scott's text before news broke on Sunday.
Whew. Is it?
Did we do it?
I think that's it. That's it.
50 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you guys caught up on that? I mean,
Are you confused? Don't worry, we're still gonna break it down.
This was more entertaining than Big Little Lies last night, okay?
There was a lot of Big Little Lies in this, too.
That's true, right? It's a lot of he said, she said, and of course everyone has thoughts about this feud. I mean, insert Scooter's wife, Todrick Hall, even Selena Gomez's mom, and a bunch of others we're gonna break down for you guys right now.
Which is why we went old school and literally made a Venn diagram for you guys to keep track of it all, But first,
we do wanna know, whose side are you guys on? Are you Team Taylor or Team Scooter?
But if we take it back to the beginning yesterday, one of the very first people to speak out after Tay-Tay's Tumblr post was Justin Bieber, who obviously is Team Scooter, his longtime manager. Here we drew a little second grade Venn diagram for you guys to keep track of whose side everyone is on. So Justin posted to Instagram a very lengthy half apology to Taylor Swift. And I do have a close-up of it because, like I said, you guys, it is lengthy. But in part, basically, he apologized if any of his previous, posts or anything were distasteful or insensitive to her. And he also defended Scooter, saying that Scooter has had Taylor's back since the days that they graciously let Justin open for her. But then what got confusing is later on, he kind of, I don't want to say attacked Taylor, but
he called her out a little bit.
Called her out and questioned what her motives were on taking to Tumblr and on social media, such a public platform, basically kind of insinuating that is bullying a little bit.
He claimed that she knew what she was doing because her fans went after Scooter after she went public with that post. And the post that he is referencing when he says he's sorry is a post Taylor used a screenshot of for her big Tumblr announcement, or for her open letter, I should say. It's a photo of Justin FaceTiming with Kanye, who's another one of Scooter's clients, and Scooter, and the caption that he posted way back when was Taylor Swift, what up? So he seemingly apologizes, but then completely defends Scooter in this case, which I'm not that surprised by. Less surprising, too, is hearing from Haley, his wife, who commented on his Instagram post writing, gentleman.
I mean, of course, she's gonna have her husband's back, literally, which is why I pulled a photo from getting of her having his back, because she's, she's a ride or die.
Lady and a gentleman right there, apparently.
But that comment, the gentleman, that's, I don't know.
Well, that's when insert Cara Delevingne, and of course Martha Hunt. They've been Taylor's girls for so long, and they've got their girls back. Cara, actually, the only place she really broke her silence was in that post.
Right.
Justin Bieber's post.
In his comments.
She wrote and tagged Haley as well. Gentlemen, question mark, you must be bored. She says, I wish you spent less time sticking up for men and more time trying to understand women and respecting their valid reactions. That was directed to Haley.
Right.
And then she told Justin, as a married man, you should be lifting women up instead of tearing them down because you are threatened. Cara also claims that she knows the whole picture because she's so close with Taylor.
Right.
You know, and I trust. I mean,
she says you haven't been around the last few years, especially. I have.
Exactly. Right.
That was the part where my eyes lit up and my popcorn was like all over the place.
And she was her conviction is what sold me. Obviously, she is a close friend of Taylor, so it's less surprising that she defended her, but it was the way she did it, her words, and only writing to Bieber, because as you guys will find out,
she didn't take to her own platform with a photo
which a lot
of
of
her
people
and
did.
Taylor. Right. I find it interesting that she went right in the comments, as you mentioned. Meanwhile, you guys, Martha Hunt, who is also one of Taylor's closest friends, she stood up for her girl, tweeting, Taylor does not deserve for someone who has constantly bullied her to own the rights to her blood, her sweat, and her tears. Of course, Martha is referencing Scooter Braun purchasing Big Machine
Records,
and essentially the rights to Taylor's masters. Martha continues, it's not the dark ages, and she also says this is about protecting artists.
Right.
He doesn't deserve a morsel of control over the archives of her past.
And before we move on, I will say that's what, and she goes on to say, sad day for music, especially considering Taylor's generous contributions to the industry. And that's where it gets really convoluted, right? It's like, how much does she actually own? Of course, Taylor Swift is known for writing so much of her music and at such a young age. And so I think for Taylor, her argument is like, I want to be able to own the rights to my own music, and she claims she wasn't given that option.
This was the part of all of the drama that I wish I would have minored in law. I was literally trying to Google masters, rights, this and that, because as the songwriter, how much do you own of your lyrics, of your publishing? Why can't she hang on to it? And of course, one of the biggest questions that Taylor had posed to us essentially in her Tumblr post is, why didn't she have the opportunity to purchase those rights, which is one of the biggest questions surrounding this drama. A lot of he said, she said.
Which a lot of key stakeholders actually responded to, which we'll get to when we break down this Venn diagram.
Yeah. So that was,
So not surprisingly though, siding with Team Scooter was Scooter Braun's wife, Yael Cohen.
Another ride or die.
Another ride or die who wasted no time. She let it all out, taking aim at Taylor. She calls out Taylor and calls out what she says are facts. She says you were given the opportunity to own your masters and you passed. She accuses her of collecting and dropping friends like wilted flowers. I mean, that visual alone, it's like, damn.
She also said that Taylor was having a temper tantrum later on in the post. I mean, she did not hold anything back.
She also said that her husband supported Taylor behind closed doors, which I thought was interesting. She said, you don't even realize how much he was going to bat for you behind closed doors.
And then she said, Tumblr can't fix this, a phone call can. Ooh. Okay, now, are you guys following along now?
Yeah.
Insert Selena Gomez's mom, who is joining the tea party. Literally, she actually wants to have tea with Yael. That is what she said.
She responded to Yael.
In her comment on Instagram, and I do believe we have that right here. Okay, so Selena Gomez's mom directs this to Taylor, saying, I wish I could give you a big hug right now. Thank you for speaking out about this and teaching future young artists about protecting themselves. I don't understand the pleasure of power plays to simply hurt people. To deny you the option to own your blood, sweat, and tears, especially as a young woman who shared growing up in the front of the world, is heartbreaking. This is where because originally she didn't have Yael in this.
Right, she
ended up adding it later, and she said, I would love to have a mom-to-mom meeting in private, drink some tea, and have some real talk.
But see, that's where I'm like, Selena Gomez's mother, there's so many other people at play here. Like, I would just stay out of it. I think it's just safer that way. Like, support Taylor in whatever way you want to, because obviously her daughter is best friends with Taylor.
Right, and I think she sympathizes because her daughter was a young artist growing up, still is.
A female in the industry.
And fights these same battles that
Absolutely.
Taylor has. So I feel like she, and that's like a second daughter to her. So of course she's going to take to social media. And of course, the other side of this is her daughter's ex, Justin Bieber. So she's clearly choosing her sides too, Selena's mom.
She has a horse in the race, okay? She has a couple, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Adding to Team Taylor, I should say.
We're still on Team Taylor over here.
They're starting to stack up. We've now got Todrick Hall in the mix. Now, Todrick Hall is a longtime collaborator with Taylor. He just was a co-executive producer of Taylor's recent video, You Need to Calm Down, and very close friends with Taylor. Now, he tweeted about his own experience with Scooter Braun because something that fans pointed out was that Todrick used to be signed. With Scooter Braun for 6 years. So Todrick took to Twitter and said, hey, he cleared things up. He said, I am saddened by this news, but not shocked. Oh, I left out I buried the lead. He said, I left Scooter Braun a long time ago. He goes on to say he's an evil person whose only concern is his wealth and feeding his disgusting ego. He went as far as to say, I believe he is homophobic, and I know from his own mouth that he is not a Swift fan.
This is where it kind of gets a little tricky. He says also men sending women in, their wives, aka Yael, to carry out their patriarchal BS is the worst form of feminist and human betrayal of all time. Looking at you, Yael and Haley.
And those were just the first 2 or 3 tweets,
It transpired throughout the day. Let me tell you, my thumbs are sore from screenshotting all of this all day yesterday.
For sure, and those are some serious claims coming from Todrick, and he tweeted so much more, which we're gonna get into, but I think in order to do that, we have to go to Demi Lovato, who actually responded. She comes into the drama, siding with her new manager, Scooter, but in response to Todrick's specific claims that he was homophobic. So if we could pull up Demi's response. So actually she took to Instagram stories first, right? And saying, hey, look, I've dealt with bad people in this industry and Scooter is not one of them. She goes to bat for him and says he's a good man. Personally, I'm grateful he came into my life when he did. Please stop dragging people.
But going off of the response that you just mentioned to Todrick, this is a comment. So Demi had gone to Todrick's Instagram page, left this saying, hey boo, I don't know you or anything and this isn't hate, but making claims that someone is homophobic is really serious. Please don't spread information that isn't true because I can guarantee you Scooter isn't. As a member of the LGBTQ+ community myself, he wouldn't have signed me if he was. No hate, just trying to clear that up.
So that's something that actually Todrick also responded to directly with Demi. And apparently she had deleted a tweet, because he took to Twitter to respond to her. Of course, didn't tag her. But he says, first of all, he says that he loves her and listens to her music religiously, but says that you can't compare your experience to mine, especially with someone I was with for 6 years. And to be fair, Demi just signed with him.
Exactly.
He goes on to say, look, you can have black friends, but that doesn't mean you're racist, kind of thing, and really just says, his own experience as not only a member of the LGBTQ community, but also the black community in the music industry. It was a completely different experience for him, and
for her not to compare them.
Exactly, and Todrick even claimed too that at the time that he was with Scooter, he felt like he was being treated differently because he wasn't on the same level as a Justin
Ariana
Bieber. Exactly.
And Justin.
And so that's why he folded that into
He
a
even
Demi.
brought out his own receipts too, because people were questioning him, saying that he got fired, this and that. But he came to the party, the tea party, with his receipts, and he showed the email to Scooter that basically he decided to go his own way because, like you mentioned, he felt that he wasn't an Ariana or a Justin, and he still wanted to pursue his career.
He only brought out the receipts because he was responding to Scooter's partner, Allison Scorinzi. She tweeted to Todrick after he had basically dragged Scooter, and he said that there she is, in case you guys need to know what she looks like. Team Scooter, okay, it's stacking up over there. So Allison, Scooter Braun's business partner, responded to Todrick and said, this is disgusting and defamatory. We dropped you after finding out you were stealing from your fans on your Christmas tour. Scooter has been nothing but supportive of all disenfranchised groups. He's against dishonesty, not those living in their truth.
That's when he pulled out the receipts that I just mentioned. Sorry, I got ahead of myself there. There's a lot to keep up with.
It is. and there were so many tweets from Todrick in particular, and that's why we're kind of folding it into all these other players, because the email that he shared was him basically a letter of resignation to Scooter saying, hey, I appreciate what you've done for me this far, but I need to go so I can actually be the artist that I want to be. You know, he felt like he was being held back. And also, Todrick cleared up about claims that he stole money from his fans on his Christmas tour. He was saying that he claims that he had to front so much of his own money to go on tour, to put out one of those records, and that it took a minute to pay everything back, but that everything is paid for. That's what Todrick said.
So Allison is not done yet. We saw her tweet, but she also reposted Yael's Instagram that we showed you guys earlier. This is just her comment. She says that she, hates for a public airing of grievances, but she wants to know that she wants everyone to know that she sides with Yael and Scooter, obviously. She wants to, quote, call out the absolutely reprehensible action of making any of this about gender.
Right.
I can categorically say that Scooter Braun is not only a good man who supports all women, particularly you, this was to Taylor directly, who he has defended and advocated for behind closed doors more times than I can say. But he also owns a company run mostly by women, a company in which I am both president and a named partner. She went on, this was a very long caption, but at the very end, she asks Taylor, asking for anything but that is childish and immature and absolutely not befitting of the strong adult female leader we both know you can be.
She basically asks Taylor not to cheapen the efforts of women that came before her, make it about women. Obviously, again, it's a lot of he said, she said, people sharing screenshots. That's the craziest thing, right, is that how public it is. But I think what is the biggest source of contention and why people were choosing sides to begin with was the question of when Taylor Swift learned about the deal, right? So late last night, Scott Borchetta, who is a board member of Big, actually he sold, he is Big Machine Records. He sold it to Scooter Braun. He's obviously Team Scooter as well, and he also shared a very lengthy post.
He pulled out the receipts too because he was so tired of the he said, she said, and he took to Big Machine's website saying Taylor had every chance in the world to own not just her master recordings, but every video, every photograph, everything associated to her career. She chose to leave because if you guys remember from Taylor's Tumblr, basically what she was saying is that the only option to own her masters that she was presented with was basically like a tit for tat scenario where she could give Big Machine a new album in exchange for the masters to her old one. Essentially, she would have to create 6 new albums over the course of what could take a decade, 2 decades almost, in order to get all of that. But in the meantime, they would still be making money off of those new albums.
Correct. So Taylor's saying that there were some strings attached to her master recordings, and she walked away from the deal because she knew that, as she puts it, would have a hold on her future. Right? Because again, I think, as you put it, I think it would have been multiple years, almost 10 years, I think, as I understand it, that they would have been essentially in control of Taylor.
So like we mentioned before, the 2 big questions here that everyone's going back and forth is A, when did Taylor know about this sale? B, what kind of offer, if any, was Taylor given to purchase those masters?
And I will add that Scott also claims in his post that Taylor's dad was aware of it, because he says he's a shareholder of Big Machine Records, and that he texted Taylor before the deal happened. Now, Taylor could have very well not have read the text before news broke because she says she found out around the rest of the world did. But we also got a statement from Taylor's rep saying that Scott Swift. Scott Swift.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many Scotts.
There's 3 Scotts in this. Scooter, whose real name is Scott.
Scott Borchetta
and Scott Swift. No Scott Disick for once.
Apparently that he was not on the call because there was a serious NDA and he would not have been able to disclose any of this to his daughter.
Which was actually, I know I know nothing about law, but that was one of my biggest things is thinking of, even if you're a shareholder, if you're privy to anything, you can't tell someone else. So that's a lawsuit in itself.
So according to Taylor's rep, he was not on this call and did not know.
And then late last night, of course, after Scott pulled out his receipts, actually putting out a screenshot of what that supposed deal was, he commented on Scooter Braun's Instagram in a pretty savage post right here saying, more excited than ever after today.
So here's the thing, guys. If we can pull up that Venn diagram again, here's what we're looking at for Team Scooter. Here's what we're looking at for Team Taylor. But there's this gray area, or here lavender for us, in the middle of people we have not heard from yet. Oh, and actually, there's also people who have been showing their online support for Taylor.
We're gonna mention those really quickly
Really
first.
quickly, guys.
Halsey, Iggy Azalea, and JoJo have also sided with T Swift. They all took to social media in different various forms, whether it's Insta Story or Twitter. And some of them, like JoJo, even use the hashtag #WeStandWithTaylor. Of course, JoJo is someone who re-recorded her own music so that she could own the masters. As Denny pointed out earlier, spelled Taylor wrong,
Spelled Taylor
but it's
wrong.
okay. It's okay.
She was so passionate, she got to get that up quickly.
About it.
Speaking of passion, oh my
wow,
God.
We're really on the same level.
Halsey, I mean, really, she sided with Taylor as a fellow female singer in the industry, and obviously Taylor has been a huge inspiration for her, and she says that she deserves to own the painstaking labor of her heart.
Right.
Like, you know, I know it's a business, right? I know it's a business transaction, but it's hard for me to kind of separate that from Taylor in particular.
Right.
Because you know that she has spent that time, as she put it in her Tumblr post, writing those songs on her bedroom floor.
Right,
You know?
of course you want them to own them.
So back to that gray area, because there's a lot of people we have not heard from at this point, okay? People who have stayed mum so far, including Scooter.
Scooter, where are you?
He's been pretty silent about Taylor's claims.
I mean, there's really 3 key players in this, Taylor, Scooter, and Scott, and we heard from 2 out of the 3 so far. Scooter, we only heard from his wife, Yael, as we mentioned.
Although, I gotta say, I feel like
I don't think he is gonna say anything, to be honest with you.
I'm curious and questioning whether or not he has control of his fellow clients who are like, maybe he's texting them to go to bat for me, send positive vibes because I'm being slandered online. Like, Justin, I mean, wasted no time posting the whole thing. I'm shocked Demi even broke her silence. Like, she has nothing to do with this, you know? So yeah, we haven't heard from Scooter. We want to talk about Ariana Grande again.
She's still in the gray area because she doesn't, and not that she has to, but she doesn't say what side she's on. Like, obviously, Scooter is her longtime manager, but Taylor, as a fellow female artist in this industry who has been very much empowering throughout her career, Ariana doesn't want to blatantly be like, hi, I'm Team Scooter, I feel like.
And that's why I feel like if anybody in this Venn diagram,
Charlotte's Web?
she's gonna stay Switzerland, because again, her manager is Scooter, but also she, as she put it in her story, her since deleted story, she doesn't want to support someone with the intentions of hurting another, and I think she's talking about both Scooter and Taylor, but as she put it, she says, stay strong, Taylor.
Someone else we have not heard from either, Karlie Kloss. Obviously, Karlie is friends with Taylor. They have a history together, of course. Karlie was in the
Bad
Squad.
Blood video. Yeah.
There she is on the right, posing with Taylor, who is in the middle. A long history with Taylor, but she's also a part of Scooter's team.
I was gonna say, aside from a few birthday posts, I think we really have not seen Taylor and Karlie out together, post about each other. It's been a minute, but we certainly have seen Karlie spending some quality time with her manager Scooter and his wife and family.
Just recently, her wedding celebration. Everyone gathered together, including Scooter and his wife Yael.
In Wyoming, right?
I believe
think it was
so,
Wyoming,
right.
yeah. So that's very recent.
That was very recent.
We have not heard from Karlie. And finally, guys, one other person we have not heard from, and I'm not sure we ever will. I would love your guys' opinion. Larry, I would love yours too. I forgot Larry is in the control
Larry,
booth.
we're trying to get
it all down. But Selena Gomez. Selena obviously is Taylor's best friend.
We've heard from her mom.
Justin came up now, her ex. Do you think we'll hear from Selena? Larry.
Larry.
I'm here. Every time you guys...
You're silent, like Selena.
Every time you guys would say that, I'd be like, me, you haven't heard from me. I keep watching you two unpack this evidence, and my opinion keeps shifting either way. So I've taken a poll of this control room, and I will say they are not real fans of Taylor. I just think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of he said, she said, and I really don't know what to think. I don't know. I think it's ironic that I'm wearing this, and I tend to skew against Taylor, but
I think it depends on where.
Confused.
Like, do you, you know, it's like, I feel that Taylor deserves to own her own
Same.
music, but I also realize that not many artists own the master recordings to their music. It's something that's been a point of contention in the business for a long time.
Right.
You'll remember Michael Jackson bought the master recordings for the Beatles.
Bought, keyword
Bought.
right there.
Right.
Keyword, he bought the masters, but can't, like Taylor Swift has plenty of money. Can she, I wish she had the opportunity.
I'm glad you said that because
buy it.
I don't feel like she did. I feel like they didn't say, hey, for X amount of dollars, you can buy the master recording.
No, because
there was
here's
a
the
bunch of
thing.
strings attached
Here's
to
the
it.
thing, and this is everyone's question too. If Taylor Swift's masters were no longer a part of Big Machine label, the value of the label, at least in my personal opinion,
Goes down.
would go down because the label would fall solely on the other artists like Florida Georgia Line, Dan and Shay, Thomas Rhett. And having that Taylor Swift catalog gives the company so much more value.
Also, I believe it is within her right, though, to re-record the masters and post them, and it
Oh, she can
devalues
100% do
the
that.
6 original
That's
albums.
what people are literally petitioning for.
As you guys can tell, this goes deep, and there's a lot of different scenarios and elements, and we actually will break it down for you guys tonight.
Never
on-
heard about Katy Perry either.
Well, I was gonna wrap it up actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will say though, on ET tonight, they will be talking to a music expert to kind of break down what's at stake
Right.
and why really this became a thing to begin with.
Right.
So, and also etonline.com has plenty of
You
resources
guys, we tried
breaking
our
this all
best.
down.
We really
Okay.
did try our best for you guys.
We did a
There's
pretty good job,
lot
though.
Killed it. You
of
two killed
moving
it.
parts.
Whew, and Katy Perry, your move. I want to hear from you. Okay, it is time
Scooter
though.
Braun, I want to hear
All
from
of
you.
my
Okay.
Before we go though, time for our MVP because we want to end on a happy note, you guys, all
Yes!
right? Because over the weekend, Lil Nas X seemingly came out as gay.
On the last day of Pride Month.
I was like, yes, happy to have you
But
on the
basically,
team.
it was like he had it for everyone.
Yeah.
For months, no one noticed it. He literally
lyrics of his
in the lyrics
songs.
of a song on his album artwork, there was a rainbow in one of the skyscrapers.
Yes, exactly.
He basically was like, "I told you guys."
Yeah, he was like, I
knows?
thought it was obvious.
Yeah.
So in honor of that, you found this.
I found this video, and I'm not even that much of an animal lover, but I couldn't resist this one. So this little dog, I don't know- Charlie,
the Australian Shepherd.
he basically is lying on the ground, and I'm prefacing this for you because the video is quite long, but I don't know
Yes.
if we're showing all of it. You know, he's eating his bone, whatever, and there's different songs playing, and he wants nothing to do with them until one song comes on, and that's Old Town Road. Take a look.
There you have it. There's a reason why Old Town Road is still the #1 song in the country on the Billboard charts, guys. Even Aussie the Charlie can't get enough of this hit. This video got Lil Nas X's attention, and he just commented, LMAO.
Is this what I gotta do to get my little cousin famous? I mean, she sings her song. Look, hold on. I mean, come on.
Larry, can you resist it? We can't.
I mean, I can't resist it, but I can resist it, you know?
I've
Turning
surrendered.
down the knob.
No, I've surrendered it. I'm like, now I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Lil Nas, okay?
Same.
So on that note, guys, whew, we gotta catch our breath, have a drink of
Wow,
water.
that was a double show for you guys today.
Pour out the tea on this one, guys, and warm up your popcorn because it's a good one. All right, thanks for watching the download. Tomorrow, maybe we'll do round 2 of the Taylor and Scooter feud. All right, we'll see you then.
Bye.
See ya.